Oh, Patrick Mullins. Oh, Patrick Mullins, my man. What a tremendous assist, a tremendous play to keep the University of Maryland #1 in the nation at the rain-drenched soccer game yesterday. One of the most incredible situations probably in the history of attendance of college soccer. 7,340 people were there and basically stayed through a 3-hour torrential downpour. And one of them, of course, was my good buddy Wayne Viener, who made it for almost the whole game. But when it started to rain inside his clothes, he threw the towel in, right, Wayne?
I wish I had a towel, but all I was wearing was a sweatshirt. It was a fantastic night to be out there. We were laughing at the rain. First it rained, then there was a monsoon that was followed by a downpour, and a great soccer game broke out in the middle.
Well, let me ask you something, okay? Again, this is Bruce Posner. You're listening to Kelly and Associates Insurance Group Terp Talk on this tremendous homecoming weekend when great things have already started to happen on Friday night, and there's much more today. Of course, we'll get into the football game and the basketball scrimmage as we go on. Wayne, you know, I think yesterday proved it to me, watching that game on TV, how good this team is. I honestly thought from the get-go that this team was the real deal. I watched them Tuesday night against Colgate, totally dominated game. But in that first half last night, in that downpour, Sasha, I think, was upset that we didn't score 4 goals. We had opportunity after opportunity, but it just didn't happen. But
Bruce, tell our listeners what you told me when you called me right after the game.
That we're about being clearly #1, or what?
You went beyond that.
Yeah, I said we are so far, you know, we should really start thinking serious about the promised land with this team. This team is 13-0-1, and if you had any doubts about, you know, sometimes on a team like Maryland, it's hard to judge the goalie because so many games he doesn't get tested. Well, he got tested yesterday by arguably the best player in the nation, Robbie Lovejoy. Although I would put up some arguments from Patrick Mullins and John Sturzer and Cristiano Francois and a few other Maryland players, but the guy is the real deal. Even Sash would say that. He stopped them on a penalty kick with 1 minute to go, and if that wasn't enough, he stopped the rebound when he had to turn his body 360 degrees to make the save, which he did. At that point, it was just a matter of time to Maryland won. That was right before overtime. It was a special night, and what a great night for Maryland soccer, who remains #1. And you always worry about the next game. How emotionally, there has to be a letdown Tuesday night against Lehigh. And, you know, Lehigh is not a bad team. They come in, but I don't know how the team could get up again like that. It was a special night, Wayne. I mean, and the fact that 7,340 people were there, and you told me there wasn't a seat to be had.
And that was before the game started. I mean, it was packed before the game started. The crew was going crazy.
At the worst conceivable time that you could have a game.
It was pouring, and people were still coming in.
The 6 o'clock time.
Oh, 6 o'clock in a monsoon.
The Yankees, for the Oriole game, in Game 5, the game started at 5 o'clock. They had 20,000 empty seats when the game started in New York. So here's a soccer game where every seat was taken.
And College Park was closed last night with traffic. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just, you know, and when you talked about, you know, monsoon followed by a deluge, I don't think that even really gives our listeners the correct picture of how hard it was raining in College Park.
You were out there at a different event, but it was raining as hard. That's the hardest rain I've ever been outside in, especially without any rain gear on, and we stayed for an hour and a half.
At 5:15, I was getting ready to go to the game, and my wife called me up. She says, you know, I know you wanted to go to the game real bad, but there are tornado watches, all right, in Baltimore County. Say, do you really think you should be driving, you know, in torrential rain? I said, all right, I'll watch it on TV. So
other than a weather report, into overtime, Carolina looked like they were trying to get a breakout with about 2 minutes to go, and they got to midfield, turned the ball over again, and Maryland struck with about 7 seconds. They
How about the beauty of that goal, the pass by Patrick Mullins? You know, at first I thought it may have been an own goal, whatever they call it.
An own
But-
goal. Yeah.
Right, but it wasn't. It was Schuma.
Who cut back to the middle. He gave it was a give and go. It took about 3 seconds. He kicked it off to his left. Mullins drives to his left, nails a pass into the middle with his left foot, and there was Schuma, taps it in, and the North Carolina players looked like they were all collectively shot. They all fall to the ground, and the place goes crazy.
Yeah, they were shocked. And
I think it was only their 4th goal they've given up all year.
4th goal, right?
They only have had 28 shots, opponent shots on goal, all year to last night. Maryland had 9, I believe.
Yeah, and the goalie was great.
Yes.
He definitely kept them in the game.
And for 2 hours or so, the crew was on him mercilessly.
Yeah, well, you know, great athletes. I mean, I guess it affects them a little bit, but whatever. You know, it didn't affect them then, and it was just a special day. And Wade had made some notes, and they're soaking wet as they're sitting in front of me. All right.